bestudering.
Hold up. Oh my God, this moving so slow. It's killing me softly. It ain't even killing me softly. I don't know what's going on, but hey, this is Folk Tales for Grown Folks. And of course, you know this is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I am your host. I don't know what's going on, people, but hey, we still gonna kick it tonight. Listen, I am your host, Brother Hot Tim, and this is a Heart of a Simmer production. We strive. Woo, it's moving slow. Where we strive to always blow up those old paradigms. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put on my solo music, not my solo, my freestyle music, and we're going to jump into a quick discussion, then we're going to get into the folk tale because tonight is my 200th episode. So hold on. Alright, it appears that that's moving a little bit faster, so we're going to turn that down a little bit. It's down a little bit too low. Don't want it all the way down. Don't want it off. Alright, so, tonight is the 200th episode of Folk Tales for Grown Folks. So that means we have done this over 200 times. We have covered 200 pieces of crystallized wisdom by our ancestor Aesop. Now, I would hope that people would join in as they join us. You know what I'm saying? I want people to share possibly some of their favorite folk tales or some stuff that they got from it before we jump into this. And if not, that's cool too. But the piece is, this is the 200th episode. And one thing that, you know, I might not be the best writer, I might not be the best speaker, but I'm pretty damn consistent, I will say. You know what I'm saying? We did this 200 times, right? So now, for those that don't know, in the mornings, most mornings, I do a show called AO, right? It stands for AEOOO, an empire of our own, right? And it's basically a news show where I go through the news. And for those that don't know, Actually, Mr. Trailer let me know yesterday was anniversary for, I don't know if we can call it anniversary, but it marks the day that Martin Luther King was assassinated. And also today marks the date that some reporters or some activists broke into the offices and liberated some files from the FBI about the COINTEL program, bringing to the public the knowledge that the government, the U.S. government, was spying and subverting its own citizens. Right? You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important that we stick with that, stick with those those ideas, right? Because the piece is the government worked to subvert its own people, and in working to subvert its own people, the one thing that we do know is that if we are not vigilant as citizens in this country, regardless of whether you love America, regardless of whether you hate America, if you live here, you need to really listen. We need to be vigilant members of the society, because if not, they will snatch our freedom from us, because they have already shown that they're trying to take our freedom from us. And if we look at what's going on as this society moves into, as some people call it, an oligarchy, you know what I'm saying? Or as it moved back to feudalism, because it seems that the money and the power is being concentrated in a smaller and smaller group's hands. And as it moves into those people's hands, right, we need to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Because we think it's bad now. It may get a lot worse, right? So, and what the COINTEL program showed us is that the government is working against those. Many of the people that might be on the call with me right now might have stories about being under surveillance, being persecuted, being denied opportunities because they had the spirit to talk up, right? And you know, in a sense, what Aesop Fables represent to me is one of our elders using the medium of his time to speak out. And because he did it so slickly, and he didn't say, you white racist cracker, he didn't say, you dumb nigga, you know what I'm saying? He didn't say none of that. What he said was, you dumb ass, and you slick fox, and you clumsy monkey, and you sheep-like beings. You know what I'm saying? And he used these metaphors that people can identify with, right? And so, I don't know where the hell I was going with that. I just felt like doing it. So, alright. But hey, tonight I'm joined by some marvelous folks. I gotta get to my applause, because these people deserve applause. And the music went all the way off on me. I do not know what's going on. It could be COINTELPRO. I told you they wasn't done with it. Alright, so tonight, first, I'd like to introduce, there it go again, why is it doing this to me? Alright, don't matter. First, we got Miss Janice Raleigh out of Detroit, Michigan. She's joining us tonight. Give it up for her. Sorry, my audience. They're slow, they may have been drinking. And, you know, everything is moving slow. And also we're joined by Mr. Charles Traylor. So we about to jump into this folk real quick. But before we even go into the folk Miss Janice, I'm gonna leave the mic open for you.
What did you just say?
Huh?
What did you just say? I didn't hear you.
No, I said before we go into the folktale, Miss Janice, do you have something that you want to share with the folk?
I don't. Well, no, I don't. Go ahead.
You said, well, come on now. Don't be holding out on us.
No, I'm good. Let's do it. I want you to read the folktale. Really, I want to hear. Because I haven't read it today. I want to know what's up today.
Oh, girl, I got one for you.
Good.
This is a life changer. I posted on Facebook. It's a life changer. People don't even know what they be missing, because this one is dope. But I got another one, right? And I don't know. And I'm so, you know how sometimes you read ahead? I just happen to be looking on my list, because what I do is I categorize each one of these folktales, or I have people categorizing them for me. And we have an event coming up at the school for self-determination. And I'm looking for a folktale to tell to the kids, because I got to be very careful, because you can't say ass with kids, because they don't get it, right? You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking down the list for self-determination, and one that popped out to me was the bitch and her whelps. Now, the bitch and her whelps. This is an actual folktale. It is not. It's not a porno. It's an actual folktale, but it's one of those folktales that not only. This one is a social political statement, a social political idea that when you really understand it, you see what's going on in the world, you see what happened to us in Egypt, you see what happened to us in West Africa, you see what happened to the Native Americans. I mean, y'all got to check that one out. I'm gonna stop right there, but you have to check that one out. But the one tonight is called The Kite and the Swans. But before we move into that, Mr. Trailer, I know you chomping at the bit, man. You got something you want to say to the folks out there?
Well, I'm just waiting for. I'm like, yeah, I'm just waiting for you to get into.
Well, I got to. I'm learning, man. I'm trying to keep them baited. I'm trying to, build up the tension, right, man. Because this one is dope.
I mean, just like my second one, I just wanted to hear from some of the people who have been on, on a lot of other just to get some idea of, what they have gained in knowledge and wisdom.
Well, hey, maybe they'll write it down or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But hey, because right now it's you two. I'm waiting for some other people, but if they don't show, we kick it anyway, right? Here we go. The Kite and the Swans. Now, I need to stress for those people that are new, Brother Devin brought to my attention, because I ran into a lot of folk tales from Aesop with the word kite. I thought it was the actual kite, but a kite actually is a bird. It's a bird of prey. It looks like a hawk, but it's not a hawk. I think it's a little bit smaller than a hawk. So, wow, that was loud. All right, so here we go. Tea kites of olden times, as well as the swans, had the privilege of song. But having heard the neigh of the horse, they were so enchanted with the sound that they tried to imitate it. And in trying to neigh, they forgot how to sing. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I had to put on an explosion. I'm going to read that one more time. Then I'm going to go into the moral. It says, tea kites of olden times, as well as the swans, had the privilege of song. But having heard the neigh of the horse, they were so enchanted with the sound that they tried to imitate it. And in trying to neigh, they forgot how to sing. And the moral is the desire for imaginary benefits often involves the loss of present blessings.
Read that again. The what?
The desire for imaginary benefits often involves the loss of present blessings. Now, if that is not a message sent straight from the ancestors to black folks, I don't know what is. It couldn't be clear. I mean, for me, it couldn't be clear. I read this one, I said, whoa, not only for my life, but as a group. Oh my God, this one right here. Do y'all want me to jump in on it, or anybody want to get it? What's going on?
When I first read it, I really something I must see. Because as you stated, man, it couldn't be, there was no clear message, that was sent, from our ancestor Aesop, and then that fable right there, it says it all about, the journey of black folks, that we've always looked at what we've identified with our oppressor, so much that we long to be near and dear, to our oppressor, so much so that we saw some imaginary benefits of being integrated and assimilated into their culture and their morals and their ways, that we abandoned the most precious, gifts, that we had. And first and foremost was our freedom to think, as a group, as we please. We left the segregated sanctity of being able to do for ourselves for integrated slavery, and we thought that everything that we saw them with, we wanted to be so much like them that we didn't forgot who we were. We gave up our whole identity. We lost our black mind trying to chase after those imaginary benefits, that really came out to be a mirage, an oasis of, I'm trying to think of the other word, an oasis of, I just can't get the other word out.
In a desert of despair, because oasis is a rest spot. So I think
right.
Maybe what you might be trying to say is a desert. We gave up.
Yeah.
We gave up paradise.
Yeah, no, you're not an oasis, a desert of despair.
Man, now first off, I've heard a horse name, but they call it name for a reason. It's not singing. It's a horse making a sound. But the swan and the kites had a beautiful song according to the ancients. And they gave up something beautiful, trying to imitate something ugly. I mean, we got kids. I mean, and what's cold-blooded about these proverbs is that they're layered, man. And it's like, this is not, like I always say, they're not just for kids. Because a child could get a lesson out of this, or a large group. You know what I'm saying? Giving up something beautiful, something that comes from you, something that vibrates, that moves up through your soul, for something ugly and outside yourself, something that's not in your nature, something that Aesop described as imaginary, an illusion. You know what I'm saying? We gave up our wealth. We gave up our black mind for a white ghost, for a white image. You know what I'm saying? And we're paying for it now. We've been doing it. We slowly been doing it probably since maybe the late 40s, early 50s. We've been totally giving it. I mean, because it's incredible to me when you look at it. Right when we left the plantations, you know what I'm saying? We started building. Somewhere in between World War II and now, well, I ain't even gonna say now, World War II and the 60s, 65, 67, well, let's say 70s, we lost our goddamn mind. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we literally lost our minds, because people blame it on slavery. But when I'm looking, my view of history, this is just my view, coming out of slavery, we still maintained some semblance of who we were. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't totally pursuing those images and those imaginations. We was trying to put our families back together. We was trying to rebuild our minds. We was probably working on our emotions. But something happened as we moved into these cities and started wanting to be with them. And I'm like, oh my God, I read this and I said, oh man. And then I'm looking at how, even in my professional life, you know what I'm saying? Even in my professional life, sometimes I may even look at some of the innovations that they supposedly have, and I'm giving up me. I'm giving up things that come from me for that. I'm giving up fucking illusion. I'm giving up what's real, what I'm able to master, what I'm the best at, for illusions.
We are natural. I look at it also from the perspective that in our most natural state, we are the kindest, nicest, lovingest, gentlest, caringest, compassionate, sensitive, sharing people on the face of the earth. That's us when we are natural, when we are in our natural self. And we bought this delusion that took us away from our natural self, even with our women, you know, naturally beautiful, but will, you know, fall for this imaginary, you know, beauty that white folks have created for us to take our women away from their natural beauty,
and take men away from how we are supposed to be naturally as well. You know,
exactly.
Now, because you said all that.
Wait,
right?
let me just say this though, as the only woman on the call. I think that, I don't mean this disrespectfully at all, but I think that both of you are really missing how much weight the definition of beauty to a woman is connected to what they believe men believe. Mm-hmm. And so because I know for a fact that many of my sisters who are adding hair and adding lashes and adding butts and adding breasts, they are doing that not because they think they hate themselves. They're doing it because they believe they think that's what y'all want. They think that's what y'all think is attractive. And part of their belief comes from this constant imagery that we are all exposed to, that sort of intimates what a man wants. It takes an incredibly strong sister with a great deal of self-knowledge and self-love to understand, I'm just going to be me, and a man will love all of me. Because when you do all those things to yourself, when the lights come on, if he's close to you, he's going to see that it's not real. And then what do you have?
So in a sense, we all been chasing illusions. So, I mean, because
and then the other thing I want to say, because, Tim, you know, much of my study, both undergraduate and graduate, was in fact on the institution of slavery. And the reason why I will never study that anymore, because it was changing both me and my perception of my people. Because what I'm saying to both of you is that when you talk about, brother, you talked about us being in our natural state. We, as the progeny of those who were enslaved, we are the descendants of those who chose and made a decision to survive.
That's right.
But we also are the extension of those who perished. And when we came out of slavery, while we did begin to build schools and search for our family, we were seriously a people who were traumatized, who were, our insistence on education and a reconnection with family was about our understanding that we needed to connect to what was familiar to us. And as the years passed and we were not successful at that reconnection, then we necessarily, as humans do, began to accept what we were out of emotional necessity. And the problem now is we have multiple generations of people who don't know the story of slavery, who don't know that we are people who were traumatized. The fact that we are a community in this nation that pays very little attention to issues related to mental health speaks to the truth of what I'm saying. We need help and don't even know it. Just like I said before, for many of us, as long as we can buy a pair of Jordans, we tell ourselves everything is okay.
Everything cool.
Mm-hmm.
I got me a new pair.
And so I'm saying that the constant morphing that we've done, that when you really look at it is a human response, has really transformed us into a group of people that are, we're like not a whole lot of, I don't know what we are in terms of.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something, sister. For years, I've always said pretty much something you just said. Mm-hmm. You know, we have suffered from post-traumatic slave disorder.
That's right. That's right.
And we are sick. Yep. We are sick.
Yep.
And we all need our own psychologist.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying we all need our own psychologist.
I agree.
I don't know if you're familiar with, I know how Tim is familiar with this documentary, 400 Years Without a Comb.
Yep.
I mean, and so you know, that documentary, you know, pretty much just shapes our whole self-esteem.
Yeah.
It's all about, you know, our self-esteem, and we've been, you know, tricked into believing that everything is about, you know, the way we are perceived, the way the way people see us, and we try to fit people's perception of us.
We try to fit the wrong people's perspective of us. We
exactly.
haven't decided on what beauty is for us. So the sisters are trying.
But that's what happens to people. That's what happens to people when they don't know who the hell they are.
Because like, for example, when Charles went into the description of us, I started thinking about this video because y'all know I'll be vegging out on this on YouTube, and there is, I can't remember the name of the station, but it was they do some brilliant informational videos on YouTube, and it was one YouTube I saw that was called "The Weakness of Our Strengths," and the whole piece talked about where one of the issues that we have when getting along with people is that the very things that attract us to the people, oftentimes we don't recognize that comes with a deficit on the other end. So the same thing that attract, like he went to a description about an author who was cool with other people, and people loved him because of his writing, because his writing was very detailed, and he would go into great detail in his writing, and he had a systematic way of writing, and that was excellent for his writing. But this same technique he used in writing, the same thing that drove him to write like that, drove him to live his life like that. So you reading this book, you could fall in love with him, but when you got to know him, he got on your goddamn nerves because he couldn't make up his mind. He wanted to make sure everything was right. He wanted to keep his options open. He wanted to explore all the different directions that y'all could go. So just setting a dinner date with this dude was a headache. So he couldn't keep good relationships. But the same thing that caused him to turn people off in a personal relationship was the same thing that made him successful as a writer. And I think a lot of times we don't look at our strengths. We don't look at the weaknesses within our strength, because if you look at all the positive adjectives that you use to describe us, we never look at the negatives that come with those or the shadow sides of those. We are a people who have denied our shadow. Because along with us being the nicest people, we were also some of the cruelest because we taught these mugs how to do what they do. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, we taught them the art of war. We perfected the art of war. On one of my shows, in one of my research projects, I researched a dude by the name of Lycurgus. Lycurgus was a dude that formulated the whole system around the Spartans. He was, in a sense, the father of the Spartans. All the Spartans that we see in the movies, they all wanted to be like Lycurgus. Lycurgus was somebody who went around the Middle Eastern world, even though there can't be no goddamn middle. He went all around that area, and one of the major places that he stopped to learn about how to put a culture together was in Egypt and in other parts of Africa. They ain't say other parts of Africa, but he went into Egypt and other parts of Africa to go and study how to put together a culture and a warrior society. And the thing that he pulled up out of there was, boom, that warrior tradition that they had in there. You know what I'm saying? We look at it, we look at the kindness in us, but we don't look at the fact that we are warriors. And when you have that warrior energy, if it's not directed, it will turn in on yourself. That's why we have rites. That's why we had rituals. That's why we had celebrations and certain things and certain events at certain times. Because I can agree that we are, in a sense, insane. But I think the insanity come more from us not directing the energy that's in us. Because we done forgot or we don't know that we need to be directed some of this stuff. All of the rituals and all the things that we act on right now in our lives come from others. We're following others' illusions. We're neighing like the horse rather than singing like the kite or the swan used to. And now we done forgot how to sing.
Right. And you're right. And you know something else, man, is that we believe everything that somebody else has written about us. We put everything into, if it's in print and we read it and it's about us, we believe it. You know, and I say that to say that, you know, I understand, you know, the whole, you know, Willie Lynch, formula and everything. But you know something, a lot of, you know, when you hear black folks, we know about Willie Lynch, but you know what? I think the fact that we accepted Willie Lynch and the letter as a true depiction of us as a people, we made it, I think to some degree, we made it a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And that's one of our powers, man. The power of belief. You see what I'm saying? The power of, I mean, really, that's been, that we have, in a sense, believed, we have pumped the power of believing into everything that's affecting us. I mean, our kids believe the myths that have been told about them, as far as them being the whatever they're doing right now. Us as professionals, we believe what they told us about how we're supposed to be, and we enact that. As a matter of fact, I honestly believe that this whole American dream is kept alive by our belief. The financial system is kept alive by our belief. That's how powerful it is for us. Because I want you to think about this. Everybody in the world know that our currency is no good, but everybody is still addicted to the currency. And I believe that's because we here. You know what I'm saying? I believe that's because of us.
Because somebody else's reality is stuck in between our ears. Somebody else's reality of us is stuck in our ears.
Somebody's
right
name.
Between our ears. Yeah, right between our ears, up in our brain, up in our mind.
Somebody's name is ringing in our ear, and we're trying to imitate it because
no question.
I don't know if the kite. I don't know if the kite has a song anymore. I don't even know if the swan has a song anymore. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, I mean, because that moral is that the end of the story is so potent. Because at the end of the story, it talks about how they forgot, and basically that's and part of madness is forgetting who you are. You start acting as if you were something else or someone else. And I think, and I know for a fact that's what we're doing. Because Because my piece is, man, how can I put it? We look at slavery, then we look at what happened after slavery. You know what I'm saying? That time span between the Civil War and World War II. You know what I'm saying? Where in a sense they say slavery wasn't there, but we know stuff was going on, and we had to kind of stick to our own and be about our own. But we know during that time, that's when the majority of the titans in America was made, and that wealth was stolen from us. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even talk about the wealth in slavery, but then we're talking about where we weren't allowed to truly compete. You know what I'm saying? But we weren't allowed really to get out there and do the damn thing. Now these people have all these resources built up, and now we're sitting up here looking, trying to make money or trying to compete in a market where it's almost impossible for us to do so. Because we are so far behind. And our children don't understand this. As Janet said, we don't know the history of slavery. We don't know none of our history. And we don't know how it affects us economically, politically. We're trying to play catch up. We thinking somebody gonna come in and save us. We got a savior complex. And then I'm gonna say this too. Part of the song that I think we singing, or the song that we stopped singing, the song that we forgot. I think in us forgetting and in us name. And I know some of y'all gonna be mad at me, so I'm gonna put the number out so that if you, those that may be listening, you want to call in and cuss me out, you can hit me up at 614-556-4535. I honestly believe that most, and I hate to say most, that a large amount of African American people, black folks, those of you that say you're not from Africa, your people been over here all this time, whatever, Moors, whatever. I think a lot of us are actually closet atheists. We just scared to admit it. Because there's no way that we can actually believe in a higher power and ancestors watching us and watching over us, and we do the fuckery that we are involved in, that we kowtow and bow in the way that we do. A man or a woman that truly is a servant of something higher cannot fear life the way we do. We don't fear death, we fear life. You know what I'm saying? We fear life, and with my fault, we fear death so much that we cling on to any little piece of life that people give us. You know what I'm saying?
And I tell you,
I'm sorry.
I'll even add another slant to that, is that some of us, have two masters. You know what I'm saying?
And you know that's not possible.
But they try to serve two masters. You know what I'm saying? They try to serve one here in the flesh and one in the spirit.
Mm-hmm. But isn't that what we're taught in school?
Yeah.
Because far as that element, see, because this is the piece a lot of people don't understand, right? They say, what's the saying when they say the thing rise and all boats rise when I've been messing it up for the last couple of days. When all boats rise with the tide, or what is it?
What you say?
There's a saying where they go, all boats rise with the tide, or it's something that the politicians say, that when the tide rises, all boats rise. That I don't know.
Oh yeah.
With the triple.
I know you're trying to say.
We think that we on the boat as black people, but the piece that I don't think a lot of people understand is that we are the thing that rises, that push all of the other boats up. We don't understand that. I honestly believe we think we on the damn boat. We're not one of the people on the boat. When we rise, the whole culture rises. We have shown that over and over again. By America allowing what happens to us to happen with us, they are in a sense allowing America to descend, because really when it comes down to it, we have Native Americans, but that's the name of this continent after the Europeans came. They even called them Indians. They're not Indians.
Right.
They all have separate names. When it comes to the actual Americans, the only true Americans are those black individuals that was transported here through slavery. We are the only true Americans. We are the we're the non-immigrants that came here. So in a sense, our existence almost begins. I ain't gonna say begins here because we could trace it back. But actually, we are the only ones that came through a process that forced us to only have this land to look at. Other than the native people that was here, when it comes to far as this thing called America, we are the only natives here. We are the only Americans. Everybody else is just a visitor. The whole concept was built on our backs, and it comes from us. I'm sorry, but you know, but we want a name. You know what I'm saying? I want to sing. I'm tired of name because I got a name with hold on. Let me say this. I got to get this out. I got the name with my goddamn parents that are crazy as fuck. Y'all have to excuse my language, Miss Janet. Whoever out there.
No, you ain't got to. I agree. I just said that to somebody in my building today. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these parents?
I got the name with them when the children got more sense than they do. I mean, it's so sad, man. I'm tearing up. I'm tearing up right now. The kids be having got more sense than them, and our children are under attack.
I remember my last year at one of the roughest high schools in the D. I had an epiphany in the middle of a rant to my seniors, and I said out loud, "What the fuck? I got it. I ain't never calling y'all's parents again, because y'all's parents, that's why you're crazy, because your parents are crazy as you. You will have to deal with my wrath individually anytime you fuck up in this class. I'm not getting no help from home, and so it's all finna happen right here, folks." And that was when I had that moment of discernment, and I've been clear ever since. I don't look to parents in these communities for help, because these parents are traumatized as their parents were. That's why the kids are crazy.
And are we giving them a break by saying that it's just trauma? You know
no, absolutely not. I'm using that word to make shit easy for me.
Okay,
no.
because it's almost I remember seeing Malcolm X and y'all might remember the scene where Elijah Muhammad did the glass thing with Malcolm. How people would choose the clean glass of water over the dirty glass of water all the time.
Yeah.
That shit won't happen today. Niggas will be drinking the dirty water. You know what I'm saying? Because it's cool to drink dirty water. If Snoop Dogg drink the dirty water, guess what? I want the dirty water. You see what I'm saying? We want a name. See, we so busy trying to be like others. We want a name. You know what I'm saying? We the only truly democratic people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, when it comes to it, in America, we are the only true Americans. We the only ones that believe in democracy. We're the only ones. We the only ones that give a... I mean, Janice, do you remember when we was on campus and what we used to say about Just Us? If you black, you part of Just Us. And you have a say. Right. And we blew ourselves up with that shit.
Right.
We blew ourselves up with Mac and Guy because everybody don't deserve a vote, because everybody is not conscious, everybody's not awake, everybody's not... You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up here and I think back to that. I'm like, oh man, we was sitting on a gold mine. And we didn't even, you know what I'm saying? It's like we just gave the gold away. Because anybody could say anything at any time and take us all, you know, we trying to explain stuff to everybody because you black. We did the same thing with the Afrocentric movement here in Columbus. Everybody got to say so. We the only democratic group here. Try that shit in another community.
That's right.
Right. And we're the only people that we have a meeting, and we're the only people that can meet and sit down and talk. And we can't talk 5 minutes without bringing white folks up. I'm serious, because we can't live without them. You know, and I'm gonna tell you something. There's some other kind of music that the Kites and the Swans made, and that was when we had our Black Wall Street all over America. That was some sweet music. But then we start hearing the neigh of the horse. And all the horses making some ugly sounds. But you know what? It sounded, for some reason, it sounded good to black folks, and we stopped patronizing. We stopped believing that black folks can sell good products, that black folks can make good things, and we started going to outside of our community, and forgot that we used to do everything for ourselves, and we didn't need nobody to it. We didn't rely on nobody to do it. It all came, from home.
And we start,
but we are the people.
And that go back to that belief. We started believing that supposedly the white ice was colder than the black ice. Because really, man, we got to, as a people, we got to understand what we're strong at. Part of our strength is our ability to believe. You know what I'm saying? So if they spread out our focus and they spread out our belief, that's the power of a group. When you spread that out, you know what I'm saying, you make it possible for others to come in and to conquer. We could only build the pyramids when we was focused. You know what I'm saying? When we was focused, and in a sense, we kept our board. This is why I brought up the whole piece about that other folktale. I don't mean to get into other folktale, but when y'all read it, hopefully you'll get what I mean. Because by us allowing other people into our mental space and into our physical space, we empower them to break our focus. And in them breaking our focus, they make it impossible for us to build a pyramid or another Black Wall Street, because our focus is all over the place. When we started building Wall Street, we started with small things. Black Wall Street, if I'm correct, started because they had black folks in a certain area and they had us isolated.
Right.
And a crew of individuals started cleaning up the streets. No, there wasn't no complicated economic plan. There wasn't no economist that sat down at the table and decided how this was going to run. There wasn't no mathematic geniuses that sat around and came up with something. There wasn't no Black Don Corleones sitting up there organizing those. No, some brothers came together and started cleaning the goddamn streets. And from that, they started getting paid by the community, because the community wanted to keep the streets clean, and from there they was able to build other things, and other people was able to do other things, and other people was able to do other things, and that built up from cleaning streets to owning railroads. We done forgot for some reason that life begins in simplicity. It's not complicated. We done went to these schools, we done got these economic theories, not realizing that the economic theories is not working in the world. I heard people, I'm not even a Donald Trump fan, but I got to stand up for the great pumpkin on this one. They say, hey, Donald Trump is not even an economist. How can he predict something that's going wrong with the economy? Well, the economists can't predict what's going wrong with the economy. If I'm correct, none of the economists saw 2008 coming. None of the economists saw the crash of Wall Street in the 40s, nor the one in the 80s. And the bubble for the .coms. Where was the economist then? We relying on people who don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry, y'all got me all riled up.
No, but let me say this to you. If you want to change the way people act, you change the way they think.
Yep.
It's just that simple. You change the way they think, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? When you change the way people think, you change the way they act.
Yep.
So what has worked against us can work for us.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I agree. I mean, but like, it's gonna start off simple. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things. Because I think in many ways, because we've been cursed, and I use this lightly, the strength of our weakness. No, the weakness of our strength. We're very honest. All three of us, and we're very honest. As a matter of fact, we're so honest that we didn't use the major thing that probably would have liberated our people,
Right.
Because we didn't want to be dishonest about it. Because there's no reason why all three of us and maybe 20 other people that we know couldn't have got together back in the late 80s, early 90s to say, hey, we all gonna go to seminary. We all gonna go into a certain church congregation or a denomination, and we're gonna take that over. And we're gonna use that to as an economic engine to build this black community. But we chose not to do that because we want to be honest with the people. I don't necessarily believe in that, so I don't want to use that. But really, when it comes down to it, that's where our people are. I hate to, but I didn't want to deceive people like that. I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm gonna say something.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Enough, man. You count how many white mega churches there are in America, and then you count how many black mega churches there are in America. There is no comparison. There is so many more black mega churches in America, but white churches and the mega churches like World Harvest and Falwell and the other guys, they didn't just have mega churches; they had universities.
Yeah. They started building schools. They started building schools, and I mean, see, because really think about this. I mean, because really, if you look at black folks, right? For if you go back in history, and this is the high 10 version. For me, being the spiritual guy, everything started with spirituality and a spiritual system. In the spiritual system, out of that became the temples. Out of the temples came community. Out of the community, within the community came storehouses for the wealth. So the first banks, I honestly believe, came out of the spiritual institutions or the churches or the temples. Right. You see what I'm saying? We're not using the simple thing. We're going about building a community in the wrong way, because a community has to have a spiritual center. This is why when you look at all of the ancient cultures start in a sense with a religious tradition. As a matter of fact, there's a spiritual story about a certain group of people in that community, and everybody could show you their connection to that group of individuals that had that spiritual experience. As a matter of fact, their rites connect them to it. So the rites of passage was based on their hero or their heroine that went through that ordeal. And the rites that we took our young people through allowed them to experience the ordeal in a ritualistic fashion so that they will be able to carry on the knowledge to the future generations. And in a sense, that's what got broke from us. Because and all of a sudden we start separating stuff. So, the church is over here, the bank is over here, this is over here. But Europeans never stopped doing that. They learned that from us. So when they build a church, when they build a mega church, they build a university on it so they can educate their kids and they can start educating their congregation. You know what I'm saying? They have a credit union and have access to money. You know what I'm saying?
And not only that, they first start with, they own the dirt that the church is built on.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta own. If you want to build a community, you gotta own the dirt first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta own the dirt first. You
can't build a nation in debt.
Exactly. Because remember I told you the other day about, my cousin down south. Their father, when he came out of slavery as a sharecropper, he was able to purchase all the land that he used to, pick cotton on. Well, he willed that land to the whole family, and everybody in the family has a house built on that land. And they don't have to pay. They don't have to pay for the land. The land's been paid for, and so we have to own the dirt that the community is in, and that's how you build a community. I think that's just a Charles Taylor version.
No, but actually, land ownership is part of nation building. You can't build a nation on rented land. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
My point exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's in nowhere, shape or no form or shape is that called being sovereign. When you every month you got to hustle up the rent to pay. No, a nation is paid too. You know what I'm saying? So that means that you got to build a group of individuals that can protect that land and keep that land. The key word is free. It's free to the nation, and the nation or the tribe or whoever controls the land is able to reap the benefits of the land fully. That's how we used to do it. I mean, you can't, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, nobody, this is what Native Americans were. Nobody owns the land. It's free and open. We just move around on it. Europeans saw that, they took advantage of it, and this is why I say check out that story, The Bitch and Her Wealth. Excuse my language. But that when I saw that and I saw that title, I was like, whoa. And I read it, I said, oh my God. Liberation.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This is one of those keys. Just like this one right here. We need to stop neighing like a horse and start learning our own song. You know what I'm saying? We're singing a stranger's song. It ain't even a song, it's a grunt. We're singing a stranger's grunt. And it's cool for the horse. It's cool for them. I'm not even mad at, see, and this is the issue. I'm not even mad at them. I came through my face while I was mad at them. I'm not mad at them. They are great students. They doing what they were supposed to do. Set is doing what, I mean, you can't be mad at Set for being Set. You can't be mad at a snake for being a snake. You can't be mad at a scorpion for being a scorpion. You pick them up, they gonna sting you. You get too close to them, you gonna get stung. But now my question is, when are we gonna realize that we being stung? We being bitten. We're being used. And we're singing.
We gotta stop.
And we're not even singing our song. We're singing somebody else's song.
We gotta stop being mad at people for being who their nature calls them to be.
And so let's celebrate their nature.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate their nature. But at the same time, let's celebrate ours. Because I'm not mad at you.
Right.
I want you to be who you are. I love you, Great Pumpkin. Do your head on your business, Great Pumpkin.
Right.
Just stay the fuck out of my way. That's all I ask.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, man, you know, I'm sitting there thinking about, you know, if the three of us and even a few more, if this discussion was being held on a college campus right now, man, you know how powerful, you know, this section would have been, and it's powerful just with us three, because I'm right now, man, saying, you know, just imagine being on the college campus and just dissecting Aesop's fables every week.
Oh, hey, get ready. It's coming, dog. It's coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, look, I mean, the whole issue is, one, get it popular. Then when people need it, I mean, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what people got in the works. My whole vision is to be able to do, because this was part of our rights. Because these stories, like I said, are layered. When you look at them, they have a deeper message for people at different levels, and you could just use these to educate. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
And going to a college campus, dude, I'm already ready. I already got I'm already ready. It's just a matter of.
And we also, and guess what? We authorize users of Aesop's fables.
No, well, you know what? Or users that choose to use it in the method that we have come up with. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because Aesop Fables is a public domain. You see what I'm saying? But nobody's gonna be able to bring the energy to it like we do, because nobody else was looking at them like this. Other people was just looking at, because really people look at these and be like, oh man, them kids stories.
Right.
You know, and at first, and the way I started doing these was, I was being the dean, I needed to develop a relationship with other children other than the ones that was in trouble all the time. So what I would do is, in the school, I would go around and I would tell stories, and I knew some stories, but I couldn't tell the same, because I would go every week. I would go to I would go to all throughout the week, I would go to all the classes from middle school all the way down to kindergarten. So I couldn't tell the same 5 stories every time in the discussion. So I would have to go and start reading. I start reading these stories, and I'm like, oh my God, these kids not even gonna understand this. You know, I could change the words, I could change ass to donkey, but they still not. And I'm looking at this, I said, this is grown folk stuff. So then I started looking into Aesop's history. I said, oh my God, we have an individual who basically escaped slavery, a black man, possibly. You know, of course, everybody trying to claim him, but there's a black man supposedly that escaped slavery through his wisdom and his wit. I said, whoa, this is Harriet Tubman before Harriet Tubman. And he left me a message. He dropped me some jewels in a book that I could get for free because it's public domain.
But you know what, they tricked you? You know, they tricked us in school because they call them fables.
They call them fables.
And allegedly, yeah, because they call them fables. You know, like it was fairy tales.
See, now, but this is the whole point. That's only tricking if you don't, because I was one of those that was really always into myths. I love the Bible stories, man. I mean, because I recognize when I read the story of David, I recognize the Godfather in that story. A lot of people, people thinking I'm crazy, because I read David and I see the Godfather trilogy in that story. Don Corleone, the old one, is David. You know what I'm saying? His hands too dirty. He can't build the temple of God, so he turns it over to his son Solomon, Michael Corleone, who is supposed to build the temple but falls off. I said, damn, that's a story out of the Bible. I'm recognizing this, and then I ran into Joseph Campbell, and Joseph Campbell just totally blew my mind. I'm like, oh my God. I said, wait. So I started looking at the myths, far rites of passage, and then fell right into the fables. I'm like, oh my God. My ancestors left me everything that I need. Instructions verbatim. All I got to do is follow what they left me. But yo, it's 10:02, and I want to thank both of y'all for being here. I'm sharing your energy. Ms. Janice, I love you.
Love you too.
Mr. Trailer, thank you for joining us. I ain't gonna say I love you, because I don't want people gossiping. But you know I love you, bro.
I love you, brother. I know how you feel.
But the point is, it was a good night. This is the 200th episode, and I'm like, wow. And I just made it through half of the book. We just at half of the book.
And so to Janice, I want to say I really appreciate your energy, and I really appreciate that balance that you bring to these discussions.
Yeah, I think they're important. I really do think that the discussions that we've had are they really are a blueprint for the kinds of discussions that need to really be taking place all over the place. And Hatem, I love you to death for just creating this forum and sticking to it even when, like you said, you're talking to yourself. Because these conversations are important. And I really am beginning to believe that a lot of us quietly listen to these kinds of conversations. I just don't know how many opportunities people like us have to have a broader discussion with a larger audience. So you got to keep doing that.
Oh, I'm gonna keep on doing it, and it's happening because I got, like, for example, I one of my daughters called me. Her code name is Queen of the Damn Universe. But anyway, she listens. And she was telling me, hey, yeah, that's some good stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so I got younger people listening that's like, boom, all right, and my piece is, we already know that it ain't the amount of people that's listening. It's the quality of the people that's listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, with still working with youth, the issue is, because my goal is one. Oh, and Janice, I wanted to celebrate you because you are one. I don't know how many I have the pleasure of knowing a woman that is involved with a black organization, and it's not just her, but it goes. Is it 3 generations deep?
Oh, you're talking about the fact my niece? Yeah, it's me. It's my mother. It's me. It's my sister, and now my sister's daughter.
Wow.
And my niece was just brought into Delta Sigma Theta, and all of us are in it. And so Hatem is commenting on those pictures. Really are powerful. He's commenting on the picture that I put up on Facebook of exactly that: me, my mother, my sister, and her daughter. And we're talking about how it's continuing a legacy.
Okay. Can I send you a? Can I get your name so I can send you a prayer request?
Yep, it's Janice Rowley, Rowley.
Spell it right so she'll embarrass you on the radio, man.
Okay, great. I'm gonna send you a prayer request.
Because, hey, man,
cool.
When I saw that,
I'll accept it. Huh?
When I saw that, it made me think about legacy. I mean, and it's like, see, and one of the places that, like, because we did the first experiment at Ohio State with Mac and Goddess of the Nile, because the point is, those type of organizations are the type of organizations that we need to send this information through, because those are organizations that people strive to belong to. Because one of the issues that I'm having is that I'm tired of fighting with people trying to get them knowledge. I'm not doing it no more. I'm not arguing with parents. I'm not arguing with kids. I no longer have a desire to argue with people to save them. Because I believe we're moving into a time where people are going to have to be of a legacy mind state. Because people of a legacy mind state, I honestly believe, will understand this. You know what I'm saying? When I want something for my children, when I'm building something for my children, I'm building for something bigger than me. Because right now, and I'm gonna get off of here. Right now, I got my daughter sitting up here. She just had the headphones on, imitate me, even though she's supposed to be in bed. Legacy. You know what I'm saying? You know, and because that's what we're doing. But hey, I celebrate both of y'all. I thank y'all. I'm about to go to bed because I gotta get up and do my radio show in the morning. For those that don't know, the thing I'm hitting tomorrow is the Panama Papers. How these?
Oh wow.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk a little bit. It's gonna be a quick 15 minutes about those Panama Papers, because we need to understand how these individuals are holding and hogging this power. But I'm about to do my little commercial, and I want to thank all of y'all that's listening. And stop being scared. Y'all can go on and call in, because I know some of y'all secretly listening. The number is 614-556-4535. Look, you ain't got to put your name. If you don't want, you could just get up on the thing and leave me you could text me. You know, and you ain't have to say your name. I won't say your name. Just let me know you don't want me to say your name. Alright? This is Brother Hatem. I'm about to do I gotta salute my sponsor, and with that, I'm out.
The word is spreading. More and more people are switching to Ambit Energy.
Well, one of my neighbors switched, and then I switched. Now the whole neighborhood has Ambit.
Who doesn't want?
The word is spreading. Switching to Ambit Energy is rewarding in more ways than one.
I signed up and got a travel reward. That's nice.
Oh, I get to save on energy and on travel?
There's a cruise for 2 out there just a few thousand kilowatts away. I can almost smell the sunscreen.
The word is spreading. Ambit Energy even lets you earn free energy.
When I get 15 friends to switch, I get free energy. I have 15 friends. At least I think I do.
Hey, I'd be telling people to switch to Ambit anyway.
If you'd like to switch to Ambit Energy, listen to the following contact information closely. Then spread the word.
Spread the word. Help us at Gye-Nyame Journey. Help you save money on your energy, right? Energy bills are things that we pay recurrently. They come up every month. And we can help you save money on electric and gas bill. And by you allowing us to help you with your electric and gas bill, you earn travel points, as well as involved with a serious nation building organization, right? Ambit Energy is an approved energy service company that gives you a choice for saving money on your electric bill and gas bill. It's also an income opportunity like no other. Help your friends save money on electricity and get paid. All right, now, for those that are interested in the us serving you business or you getting involved in the business, hit us up at Gye-Nyame526.com. That's GYENYAMEJOURNEY.energy526.com. Or just give us a call at 614-594-9422. Let's talk about you changing over to Ambit and saving money, getting travel points, and possibly even getting free energy, or even coming into the business yourself. Let's go and get this money together. Let's go and nation build together. Let's go and grow together. All it takes is 1% of the 1% in Columbus. And with that, I'm Brother Hatim, and I'd like to thank all of y'all for tuning in. Of course, I got to remind you are now listening to Folktale for Grown Folks. This is Brother Hatim, and you are listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Man, it's moving slow. This is, of course, a part of the Simple Productions. We start to blow up those old paradigms. So with that, I'm Brother Hatim, and I'm out. I check y'all out in the morning. I'll be up at 5 a.m., dropping the news at 5 a.m. Peace.
Mr. Deity.
Oh yeah, shouts out to Mr. Deity for laying down the track. This is Divine Fresh. I'm out.